Hello everybody at Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you another reading, and this is going to be for today, the 24th of July 2021. So I wanted to hop on here and give a quick talk on this Aquarius full moon energy. I'm feeling lots and lots of energy with this, and so much is coming through from Spirit about this, so I had to come on and just talk with you guys about that. So if you are catching me on Facebook on the live, say hi. If you're catching me on the replay, let me know down below that you're catching me on the replay. If you want, just say hi. And then if you are catching me on YouTube, please don't hesitate to hit the like if you're showing me some love, or hit the subscribe so that you don't miss any great content that I'm going to be producing to put out. I am in the process of doing some of that stuff, and I am super excited about all of that, and I will be getting that out to you soon. So here we have this Aquarius full moon energy. I'm really feeling like, I'm sorry, the sage smoke is like a lot today, sorry. I really feel so much like everything is changing so quickly, and things have been super busy with this energy that comes in with this. I feel like it's like spinning and it's almost like a whirlwind for us, and really, really strong energy with this. The word liberation just keeps coming through over and over again to accompany this full moon. Okay, so for me, this liberation, it really is meaning like, in our personal lives, we could be taking a stance on something, we could be changing directions rapidly, and I'm feeling more like this is a liberation of us from ourselves, from our ideals, really not wanting to hold ourselves to a certain set of standards that we may have been holding ourselves to in the past. Okay, so not having to do things like you've always done, not having to hold yourself to a certain standard that I feel is like maybe you've been like holding yourself to some like ridiculous standard that's like not even achievable for you. Okay, and maybe you're feeling like 0 to 100 is always been, that's always been something that you've been like a plan for you to achieve things, go fast, and and really it's about here and this Aquarius full moon. Hi Johanna, thanks for hopping on. It's about like knowing your limitations, really, is what it boils down to. So you don't always have to do things how you've always done them. You don't always have to do things how your ancestors did, right? So, or like how past generations did even, right? So we have to think about maybe there's been things always done a certain way in your family, and you're feeling the pressure intensely to, meet that goal or do those same things. And you're starting to question that, or maybe you fully questioned it and now you've decided this is not for me anymore. And so I feel like, the word defiled also kind of comes in with that. So and I feel that, this has something to do with the riches in your life, right? Now, riches can be anything. It can be monetary, and it can be like emotional riches, right? How you feel fulfilled in what you're doing. So Spirit's advice here with that is about using discretion, right? Have you been feeling entitled? Have you been feeling entitled to achieve this like ridiculous standard that you set for yourself? Really take a look at what you're doing. Have the ability to laugh about things. Don't take things so seriously, because in the end, the ability to laugh and to flow is what's going to help you in manifesting new and better. Okay. And I really feel like looking at this as well is, we look at our moral compass, right? And Spirit shows me like an arrow, but the arrow is like, maybe you followed this straight and narrow, but then they show me like the arrow gets bent somewhere and then it lands in the grass, right? So you are not necessarily going to land where you want to land, right? And so I feel like with this too, like the Spirit showed me like scales where like one ideal or value has been more important than the other. So this is like weighing you down almost, right? Like this has been more weight and more value than this one. And so that's where it's kind of gotten you off track. And maybe that's where the arrow has kind of like landed sideways, right? And so you haven't really hit the target, so to speak. And so that is where that's like this thing that's like unachievable, maybe is unable to be obtained because maybe there's a certain belief or something that's like preventing you from like hitting that target too. And so it's about clearing some of that out with this full moon energy, right? And what I hear is like the lyrics to a song. It's come on baby, do the locomotion. Like everybody's doing a brand new dance now, right? Like things are changing so much around us. And so you have to also make your moves. And I'm getting chills with this, right? You also have to make your moves. You have to come up with a brand new dance. You have to come up with a brand new way of doing things. Big chills, guys. To get yourself in a place where you will also be happy and fulfilled. And so shaking up your energy. When we dance, we do shake up our energy, right? And so it also could be very beneficial, like in our personal spaces right now, particularly with this full moon, to move things around, right? Because it will invite some of that new energy in, so move things around in your home, that kind of thing. So, and I feel so much like we have maybe let ourselves go to a certain point in the past where we got really overwhelmed and then we stopped doing what we were doing to achieve our goals. Like right now might be a time to allow some of that pressure to build up, because maybe you work well under pressure and maybe you haven't been putting yourself under enough pressure to like get things done. So just make sure that you're doing something every single day toward that goal, working toward that goal, okay? Because this energy is going to affect everybody. Like there's no way around it. It's going to affect every single one of us. How it affects you is going to be the key, right? Like it's going to affect everybody differently. What that looks like for you is going to be different than how it looks like for somebody else in their life. But it's definitely going to affect every single one of us. Spirit is like saying like this energy is indiscriminate, right? And so it will affect everybody. So what we have to look like, or what we have to look at when this comes in for us, is our ability to float. Okay, so Spirit's saying that there's rising tides, and as these tides come in, like we all have the ability to float and be washed out and carried to our destination, right? And so that's an awesome thing. But some people have some things that are kind of weighing them down. That could be our beliefs, right? What are you carrying with you that could make you sink? And what I really feel with this is that this is like a true art of self-reliance, or true art of like manifestation, okay? So we have to always be floating down that manifestation river, right? We have to go with the flow. And if you're on your inner tube and you're carrying all of this past with you and all of this self-judgment and all of these things, that we're carrying with us, it has a tendency to maybe weigh us down, and then we're going to go really slow. We're not going to manifest very quickly, or maybe we're not going to move at all. Maybe we'll totally sink, right? So these are some things that we have to kind of look at. And I think that that's where some of this stuff that is coming in, where we have to know our limitations. That's where maybe we've been building these blocks for ourselves by always holding this ridiculous standard. Because if we don't get this, then what's the point in even trying, or something like that. And so we're being stubborn, we're feeling entitled, right? And so we're, in essence though, just holding ourselves back. We're carrying this like ridiculous standard, for ourselves and our future. And by doing that is we're creating this huge block, right? We're blocking Spirit from allowing certain beautiful things to come in for us, right? And because we're not taking action maybe, or this block is putting a barrier up to allowing Spirit to start bringing things in for you. Because remember, not everything will look like what we want it to look like when it starts to show up. When Spirit starts to show up, they already know what's best for us. And so it will come in and it'll be a really beautiful thing. And it might not look exactly like what, or even at all, like what you had imagined that it would look like, but it will still be really beautiful. And so just being open, right, is really important. So getting rid of some of, I would say, like dead weight of certain limiting beliefs, because they can be very challenging. So you have to start to look at some of those things and really be honest, be gentle with yourself through this whole process too, right? Because in the end, it's this very incandescent thing, right? This light that we carry within, it's this passion, this brilliance, and we all have the ability to emit this light when we're under, especially when we're under this pressure, right? We start to burn bright. We start to glow. We start to get really excited about things. And so allowing those things to happen, and we all shine differently. We all bring a beautiful brilliance and passion to the world that needs to be expressed. We all need to express that because the world benefits from that. So that's a really amazing thing. So when we get down to it, it's about not settling for a job just because it pays your bills. It's about getting out of maybe a relationship that is really unhealthy for you, or maybe it's just not fulfilling for you, And so I think about this, it's about, no longer staying in like corporate America, but like going, into, like a self-reliance, right? And we're looking at this like in a large scale, right? This isn't necessarily just in our own personal system, right? It could be in our personal system, but like there's a lot of people doing this right now, right? They're looking for something that's more fulfilling. And I think that this is exactly what this Aquarius brings, this full moon in Aquarius, because Aquarius is a humanitarian. It is looking at all of these things. So flow, not control. Okay, so I really feel like it's about going mainstream, so to speak. Now I'm not talking, when I say going mainstream, I'm not talking about like getting the most cool clothes or anything like that. What I'm saying, hi Damiana, thanks for hopping on. I'm not saying getting the best clothes or anything like that when I say go mainstream. What I mean with this is about flowing with the trends, right? So flow, not control. And that's how you achieve this sustainability within, right? Because if you're on the inner tube and you're going down that river and you're getting weighted down and you can't even flow, right? Because of all of these beliefs that are kind of like holding you down, you're not manifesting well, you can feel maybe even into a place of despair, right? But if you've let go, you're working some of that shadow work, you're letting go of some of those things, you're flowing faster, you're manifesting better. You have true faith, right? It builds that faith up. And everything is more of your own self-reliance. You don't have to go into a direction of relying on a job for 25 years before you get your retirement, right? You just trust that spirit will always show up, things will work out, right? And so this is a beautiful, beautiful picture that is starting to emerge. So with this full moon in Aquarius, I also feel like this sustainability is not just on like a financial key, right? I'm talking like emotional. We're talking about all of our facets of wellness. I'm talking about emotional. So lifting each other up, right? Building each other up, whether we do that with inspiring others with motivational messages, whether we do that by complimenting people, whether we do that, we have to be there for each other. This is such a time of being able to be there for each other. Big chills with that one too. So physically, now metaphorically, when I talk about our physical facet of wellness that I feel with this, physically, metaphorically, we will be planting seeds for our future. Okay, we will also physically be planting seeds to make sure that we are able to rely on ourselves. Are we planting seeds? Are we, planting foods? Are we planting things that make us happy? Are we planting beautiful flowers? Things like that. Things that we are able to take care of ourselves and fulfill ourselves on a low-key level, right? But makes us so happy, right? So looking at that physically, then spiritually, are we setting intentions? Are we praying? What does that look like for you in terms of your spiritual wellness? So I do feel like all of our facets of wellness will be being taken care of in a different way going forward. And so mentally, like what are we doing mentally? Are we nourishing our mind? Are we reading books? Are we taking online courses? This doesn't have to be traditional institutional learning, right? this can be like low level, low key, non-threatening, non-overwhelming, because it is not about overwhelming yourself in this process. Because like I said, this whirlwind, it's so much out there right now. It is about looking within. And so this is nurturing ourselves going forward. It's about releasing so much stuff right now, knowing your limitations, and really rethinking that standard that you're setting yourself at right now, and knowing what is achievable for you, and going forward knowing, where is my fulfillment going to come from? And it is coming from within. So how can we grow that? So really beautiful energy here for this Aquarius full moon, and I just needed to hop on and get that out there, this beautiful message for you. As always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. If you're interested in your own personal reading, I would love to be able to do that for you. You can hit me up in the messenger or at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com. As always, have a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much. Take care.